Yes, Roshan.
Okay. So now we have our database and we'll create a very basic API. Uh, so what we are going to do is basically enter a new user into this file, uh, get a user from this file, then updates a certain property of the user in this file and delete. So a basic CRUD operation on this particular file. So what we are going to do is create 4 different requests, that is get, post, put and delete. So first let's create a get request, and we what we'll do is create one request and test it, again create another request after that and then test it. So we'll create a request and test it, so it will be better for like checking errors and stuff. So let's just create a get request to get this entire file. So to do that, what we are going to do is create a get request on slash, then request and response over here, and but then we'll need a module that is fs. So there are a lot of built-in modules inside Node that we can use to access different computer you know in different computer programs, or computer hardware related stuff like files inside your computer, or maybe network related stuff and so on. So there's a module named as file system, or acronymed as fs. So let const fs equals to require fs. So we've now imported fs module into our project. So what we can do is just get this particular file using the fs module. There's another way also. By using this require method, you can require JSON files, but let's say our file is not in form of JSON, it is some other form that is not possible to import using this require method. So we can use this thing. We can use this fs module to read that particular file. So what I'll do is move this file inside our src folder, and we are going to read that file. So let's say data, or with let's say user db, and equals to fs dot read file sync. So read the file, and synchronous means read this file synchronously instead of giving this reading process to your some other worker. Just read it, because this is not a very time consuming process. So you can either, if let's say this file was to be of hundreds of MBs, so what you could do is read this file asynchronously. So using like this fs.read file, and then we can pass the file path over here, and then inside the callback you'll get the data of this file. But since this file is very small and we don't need a synchronous process, what we are going to do is synchronously read this file, because it is not going to take much time. So the response that is going to be sent to the user will be in fraction of seconds, and hence we can use synchronous reading of this particular file. So basically, yes. So we'll enter the path for this file, which is dot, means the current directory. Then inside current directory, the data.json file, that is data.json. And what we get in return is a buffer. So buffer is nothing but a data type that can be used to convert your data from binary to string, and from string in form of binary or some other form, that is blob, or uh, random different forms. You can convert your data using buffer, to different forms, and you can allocate a part of memory using buffer inside your system. So now we have this thing over here. So now this is in form of buffer, but we need to read this in form of a JSON object. So to do that, what we are going to do is let JSON O, which means the JSON object, equals to there's a built-in global method JSON dot parse, which basically parses a normal string into a JSON object. So parse and then userdb dot toString, and then inside encoding we can pass different types of encoding, but basically what encoding we have over here is UTF-8. So we can do select UTF-8 over here, and that's it. So now we have this object over here. What we'll do is response dot send, and that's it. So now if we go on to our browser and make a request onto this particular route, we'll get this entire file into our browser. So let's do that. Server has started. We'll just go ahead and make a request, or let's use a postman only to make this request. So we'll change it to get, and the route is slash, or you can not, if you want you can keep it like this also. By default it will make a request onto the slash route that we've defined in our index file, because we have an error, no such file or directory. Okay. Mm, uh, okay, there's some problem regarding resolution resolving this file. So we what we do is use path module to resolve this file. So and then what we can do is just like this, path dot resolve, then passing like this. So oh sorry. Why is it going just hold it. Okay guys, give me a second. Okay. Okay guys, I'm so sorry, there was some problem with my computer only. It is now working. uh, just a second. Yeah, so yeah. uh, so basically, what we did was to resolve the path, that is the path to this .json file with respect to our root. So we have our data.json file over here, and we have resolved our path with respect to our root directory to this particular data.json file. uh, and we've received the response over here, that is the uh, the entire data that we had written into our JSON file. So now we've got this get request. Now let's say if we want to get a particular user with a particular ID. So what we'll do is app.get, then slash with ID as the parameter inside the URL, and then a function, and we just copy this much from here. And now we are going to search for this particular ID inside this JSON object, which is an array of users. So let's say let user equals to JSON object, that is this dot find, which is you know method for the array constructor, like it is defined inside the array, which takes in a function as a parameter to which we have to return whether this thing has to be included or not. Basically, this particular find method takes in a function as a parameter, which basically where we have to return that does this particular object is the object we want. So I'll just show you how. So let's say we create an arrow function with let's say any u as a parameter. Okay, and then like this. So u is a parameter which is going to be a particular object, this particular object, one by one we'll be receiving them inside this method. And then we have to uh, check that do we want to return this or not, like is this what we are looking for. So now we can say u dot id, if it's equals to 3 equals to, and JavaScript basically checks for type as well as the data. Whereas when you use double equals to, it only checks for equivalent code, like the are they equal, like undefined and null, both are basically given as equal when you use double equals to, but they are given as a false when you use triple equal sign. So basically we'll use triple equals to sign over here, because we know this id is going to be string, and the parameters that we are going to receive in this is also in form of string. So we're going to request dot params dot id, which is this id that we're going to get from the url. So now we have this. Now let's say we that there's no user with this particular id onto our database over here. So we have to check that have we received some user over here, because this find function either sends returns either a object that is that satisfied the you know the condition over here, or it will send a null object or an undefined object over here. So we need to check if there's a user, and there's a user, then response dot send this user, or sorry else response dot. Now basically when you don't find something and you want to specify that this request is a uh, request with errors. So different status codes are used. So 200 is basically used for you know a proper genuine request. Although all the status codes that are beginning with 200s are basically a genuine request, that is a proper request that is received on the server, and there's no error inside that. If you receive a response, or the status code of the response is somewhere in 400s, it means that there's a mistake that is done by user. If you have 500 relate 500 and 501, 502 as some errors like this, then it means that there's some error happened onto the server. You need to retry after some time. So whenever an error occurs on the server that you don't know, that user might have made, you send a response that is 500. If you know that user has made a request that has error inside it, you can send a response code with 400. And let's say you want to redirect this particular user to a different page, uh, then you can use error code with 300s, like 301, 302, 304, so and so on. So to basically send error code over here, we can use this status with code 404. 404 is usually used for content not found, and since we do not find the user here, we are sending status code of 404 with sending as with a message user not found. That's it. So we are done with this request as well. Let's just go ahead and test it. Oh yeah, so we are doing that now. Let's get the user at ID 5. So we got this particular user at ID 5. Now let's try some random ID that is not there in our database. So user not found we've received, and the status code is 404, that is not found. Okay, so now we're done with getting a particular user. Now let's update. Now let's add a new user into our database. So to do that, we'll create a put request. Then onto the slash, and then first response. So now what we are going to do is assume that we are going to receive the entire user object inside our body. So let's say let user equals to request dot body. Next, let's just copy this thing. Since we have to now since this is an array, we can use push method, that is to add a new object into an array. So JSON dot push array object array dot push. So sorry, array dot push, and then put user inside it, and then now we've added this user into this array, which is right now inside our memory, but not hasn't been written onto this file yet. So to write it to that file, what we are going to do is fs dot write file sync. Then again enter the path for our file data.json, and then the data that we want to write onto our file, which is now going to be this particular array only, but with this user inside it. So but if we want to write this particular object into this file, we need to make sure that it is in form of string. Since over here we parsed it in a form of object, now we again have to convert it into string. So another method is json dot stringify, and then this. but we pass in this particular object into that so that we get a string version of our object, and then we again send this object to the user back whatever was sent by him to us. Let's just rerun the server. So now let's make a put request with body. With some random ID, let's say 50. And let's name him anything like abc abc@gmail.com and send a request. So now we've received this entire array of users along with our object inside it, and if we go ahead and check out this file data.json, we will be able to see our new user into it, which is over here. So that is with creating a new user. Now let's say you want to update a particular user inside this. So what we are going to do is create a post request, and after that we'll again take the uh, all the properties that we want to update for that particular user into this particular object from the body. Then again we are going to read this file, convert it into a JSON object, but now we are going to uh, find the index of the user where the ID is specified inside this. So we need to make sure that there's an ID inside this particular object that we've received inside the body in the request. So what we'll do is let user index equals to dot find index, and then similarly in the similar way we did inside the find function over here, we are going to find the user, and then this function will return the index of that user. So now we have received the index. Now let's check if the index is not equals to -1. So let's say if this function is not able to find a user, then it will make this index as -1, and if a user is found, then it will give index of that particular object inside this array. So if we have user index, or a user if user index is not equals to -1, then we what we do is JSON object, and then we update this user equals to, or maybe a better way, what we can do is use object dot assign method, which is a built-in method in JavaScript. You can use this inside your browser as well and inside in Node as well. So to do that, just object, we have to use object dot assign and pass in the target object, which is JSON object, and then index of this user index. So this is an array at this index. Update the object at this index with the value user. So all the properties that we are supposed to update will be passed inside this thing and will be applied onto this particular object, and then it will be written on to the file, which is in this. So now since we have this, let's say we don't have this, we have this index as -1. So now we what we need to do, we just move this inside here. So next thing, what we have to do is send an error that is similar to this one, that is user not found. And let's just save this and run. And now let's make a post request onto the same ID that is 50, but let's change the name to AAA and email to AAA, and let's remove the phone number. So let's keep the phone number as it is, but change the name and email address, and let's send the request. It says user not found. Just a second. Oh, sorry, there's a mistake over here. We've pass the condition where we check for user.id with user, instead of we should check it with user.id that we are getting inside the body. And as you can see, name has been updated and email also has been updated. You can check it over here as well. That name has been updated and email also has been updated. So now we've performed a basic CRUD operation onto a file using Node.js. So tomorrow we'll be working on with the database, that is Mongoose, and create a proper authentication system along with JWT and JWT and all the authentication things like sessions and cookies and everything that we'll be learning tomorrow. So this is it for today. We've completed our CRUD, entire CRUD. So anyone has any doubts so far? Hello?
No, Rishabh, you can continue.
Done for the day, because that's it. Like, rest of the things we are going to cover tomorrow only. Hello?
Okay, sure.